Welcome to the Brookhill Women's Ministries podcast. We are so excited to be starting this, number one, and we're grateful, and it's a new thing. So we're excited to unpack, number one, the Brookhill Women's Retreat, but also we have a very special guest, Tanner Cangelosi. Her and her husband are local pastors here, and they've been a part of the Brookhill family for many years, and we're going to dive into that a little bit. But Tanner also, they have 6 children who are amazing.
They just kept coming.
They're incredible. So they're Tanner's a mom. She's a wife. They're pastors. They have an incredible community that they've created. And so we're just going to dive into, Tanner, your affiliation with Brookhill. How did you
become a Brookhill parent?
Yes. So we love Brookhill. Totally changed my kids' lives. Like I can't explain what it's done in our family, but even more so, what I love is to see the legacy, the family legacy, the legacy of, like, it's affected me. It's Corey and myself. It's affected my kids, and like they've already said, like, we want to work here, we want to bring our kids here.
That's awesome.
And I love that it's not flashy, like it's not like like we have the latest and greatest, but they feel at home here. Like, in fact, today when I was coming to do this, my girls were like, "Can I please come? Will you please take me out of school?" And but about 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we just moved here, and so we just moved here. We had moved from Conway, so New Life Church is multi-campuses. So we were at that campus, and so we came here to be at this campus, and in Hot Springs. And somebody had told me from Conway, they had said, you should go to Hot Springs Women of Prayer. And I was like, you know what? I don't know anybody. I have no friends. This is all new. Obviously, any transition in church life is hard. And so, like, we're transitioning church. We have no friends. And I was like, let's do something
all at once.
I need prayer. And so I go to Hot Springs Women of Prayer for the first time. And loved it. I see Hetty. She was talking about, well, first of all, she's speaking, and I'm like, who is this woman?
For sure.
I want to be her.
Everybody.
I hadn't heard of, I had heard of Brookhill, but I didn't realize she was one and the same.
Okay.
No, she knew how to make a first impression.
Yes.
For
Like
her.
but she didn't talk, like, I didn't talk to her directly. It was just, I was sitting, listening, and I was like, this woman is amazing. I want to be her, or half the woman she is. And actually, I remember her nose was running, and she kept saying, "Oh, the Spirit's just flowing out of me." And I was like, I love her so much.
That's so mem.
And so then, fast forward a month. So I'm like, I'm in. I'm doing this. So I go back the next month, but right before that Hot Springs Women in Prayer, I had gone. We had just moved here. We had a 4, 2, and a 1-year-old. So we had our 3 little babies.
Just in that season of little kids,
and they had childcare at Hot Springs Women of Prayer. Loved it.
Oh,
so so I have my babies, but right before we had gotten pregnant, and I was like, we're gonna have our 4th baby. We're gonna have them all really close together.
It's great.
And I thought, and I thought, you know what's gonna help us settle in is we'll have a baby. People will come to our baby shower. We'll meet people. Well, so I go to my appointment, and like Corey goes on to work, and I go to my appointment for my 4th, and she was like, you know what? I think I hear 2 heartbeats, and I was like, no, like we weren't taking anything. We weren't on,
that can't be.
It's not my family.
Yeah.
And I was like, that can't be right. And she goes, okay, well, let's just go to ultrasound and take a peek. And I was like, okay, fine. And so we go to ultrasound, and as soon as she puts the little thing on my belly, I go, well, that looks like 3 circles, but I never read these things properly. And she goes, it is 3. I need to go get the doctor. And so I was in the room by myself, and it was probably,
I cannot believe Corey was not with. Like, I can't. Like, what are the odds?
But number 4.
We've
done this 3 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I literally told the nurse, like, I gave her my birth plan, or the doctor. So new doctor, because new town. And I was like, I'm pretty much going to eat granola while I pop this baby out. You're going to be amazed. Like, I was like,
I'm really good at this.
You were feeling real confident.
So prideful.
Real confident.
Yeah.
And so
just watch.
I'm sitting there by myself, probably the closest I've ever had to an out-of-body experience where I'm like, what's happening?
For
is this
sure.
me?
Is
like,
this real?
Is this my life?
Yeah.
And so I then started, like, you know where the Bible says, like, Sarah, like, she laughed, at, you know, like, at God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I just start laughing uncontrollably, like not in a pretty way, like not like a little like giggle, but like a crazy woman.
You're in shock.
Like,
yeah, you're in shock.
And tears are coming out of my eyes, but I'm like laughing, and like even the nurse was like, "Do we need to get someone to drive you home?" Like,
no.
Yeah, I would have said yes. Yes, you do.
Please do.
Yes, I probably did.
Yeah.
And so, and I wish I would have been like super creative, like told Corey in a fun way, but I just called him.
Yeah.
From the ultrasound.
Yeah.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
think
And
of
I
all the
was
fun
like,
things you could have done.
I
But
know.
yeah, missed
But then how
opportunity.
shocking for
Pinterest
him
when I need
that
it.
would be. Like,
No.
he'd be like, wait, is this a joke?
Yeah. I know.
And so like I even had to be like give the phone to the nurse practitioner or doctor to be like, hey, yes, this is real and you're gonna have triplets. And so we had the 4, 2, and a 1-year-old and then the triplets.
I'm just like,
And
my heart is
so-
like beating fast, just like
It was a hairy time. And
Yeah.
so all that to say, I leave that appointment crying and laughing, but also probably more crying because I knew what was coming down the pipe a little bit.
Did you feel like
So-
in that, like, was it was it all the feelings in one? Was it nervousness?
Yes.
Was it a little scary?
Yes.
Was it like, we just moved to plant this church?
I was like, we were kind of drowning at church because I was 29, like we were young.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We had
well, and you
little
hadn't been senior
babies.
pastors before,
We'd
right?
we'd only been with kids.
Like
And
went from like
so-
kids ministry to like,
Yes.
hey, you're going to be the senior pastors in a new town, people don't know you.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Actually, the first time Corey was like, get up on stage and tell, welcome everyone. It was on Easter. And I was like, I was like, no,
pressure.
I don't do adults. And and so he was like, no, it's fine. It's no big deal. And so we had just played Oceans. Like it was like,
Yes.
just a
Okay.
moment.
Totally.
And a
Yes.
normal person would have been like, don't you love our worship team? We're
Right.
so thankful
Transitioned
you're
out.
here."
Yeah.
And I got up there and I said, oh, my Lanta, that was good. And I like did my arm like that. And then, and Corey, I could see him on the front row and his head just went down. And anyway, I didn't MC after that for a while.
Shocker, you were not asked
I know,
back.
but the Lord works in mysterious ways. Somebody said that was their first Sunday and they never left.
Listen.
And I was like, look,
See,
Corey.
listen.
It was a hook. You got him. I mean,
They put their guard down.
Yeah.
These are weird people.
I
These are
know.
my people.
Yeah.
I
love
need
it.
a little weird.
Yes.
And that's why I like Mim and her
for
nose
sure.
running.
Oh, yeah.
You
But
connected right away.
So I decided after we found out that we were having, 6 babies in 5 years, I was like, I'm not going to tell anybody because I don't know how to field any questions.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what car we're going
Yeah.
to drive. I don't know where we're going to live. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's going to help me because I didn't know anybody.
Wow.
And so
That's actually such a good way of saying that. I
Yeah.
feel like so many times when you get any sort of news or information or you're going through something, it really I don't know how to field questions. I
Yes.
don't know what I would
Yeah.
say in response to this.
you're
So I just
figuring
need to
it out.
hide that in
Yes.
my heart.
And I almost
like
self-isolate instead of being like, okay, I need
Is that
help.
your natural response
Probably.
to things like that? Typically,
Probably.
you
And so-
internally have to process it first before
Yes.
you really vocal it. Okay.
And I am like, I think that's one of the things I'm passionate about women's retreats and like the Brookhill Women's Retreat. I feel like you can come here and sometimes it's, it's not part of your church. It's not part of your
Right.
everyday community. And you can get outside your box and say, okay, this is what I'm dealing with. How do I
love
how do
that.
I do this biblically?
Yes.
How do I respond to this biblically?
Yes.
And so I was like, not going to tell anybody. Well, that week was Hot Springs Women of Prayer. So I go and I'm still like, I'm not talking because I'm going to start crying.
Yeah.
And so I am just going to, I'm sitting in the back and mind my business, but I want to go and listen. I want the child care.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and Hetty Lou comes up to me. Like she's already started talking, but then she comes up to me and she says, you have something to say and you need to share it with the group.
Wow.
And I was like, and I just
course.
started weeping.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have a 4, 2, and a 1-year-old, and I just found out I was going to have triplets. I don't know how we're going to do this. And she just like embraced me with such compassion and kindness. She prayed over me.
Yeah.
Like I felt empowered because of this prayer. And then the women there, she looked around them and she said, we're going to help her. And like, she didn't know me. She didn't know that we were pastors at a church. Like, or my husband is. And I just love that she loved the body of Christ like that. Like, it wasn't like, okay, well, this is our church. Yes. And then it was just, she loved the body of Christ. She loved our city. Yeah. And she never took a rest. Like, no. And I told Corey when I got to know her a little bit, I was like, if I had started a church and started a camp that impacted thousands of people, literally tens of thousands, like, I was like, I'd be like, I'm going to sit on my porch and drink some lemonade. Yeah. Like
I'll sit back and watch it.
Yeah. And she just, her fervor for the Lord. Mm-hmm. And so those women, none of whom went to our church, they rallied around me. Wow. Some of them were in their 80s, would come and like clean my bathrooms because I would have to be on bed rest. I got really, really big. Yes. Imagine. Really big. And I looked like an alien a little bit. And so, because they were big babies, thankfully. Again, that was another thing is the doctor said, these babies will not be healthy. Yeah, like, you're not built for that. Mm-hmm.
He said that to you initially. Wow.
Yes, he was like, you're just not built for this. Like, you're going to go into labor. They're going to be very early, and they're going to have delays.
Yeah. Goodness.
And
so you're dealing.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just with the shock of the unexpected. Yeah. This is a lot. Mm-hmm. It's very scary. We just entered into this brand new season, and now we're in a whole other one.
Yes.
And now, so you're reeling and you're processing, and it's like, okay, these babies are blessings because that's what the word says.
Yes.
Right. Well, then you're combating fear.
But then your fear. Then the doctor tells you.
Confirms your fear.
Yeah. They're not going to be healthy.
Yeah. They will, They will not be healthy.
I mean, they got to be straight up with you. So I get it. And you'd rather their directness than not.
And he was probably trying to put the fear of God in me a little bit of like, do not exercise. Yes. Do not do. Because I was very I was still like, okay, well, I still want to run. And he was like, oh, no. No running. Eating sticks of butter is what you're going to be doing. Constantly eating. He was like, you got one shot at growing these babies. Wow. He was a great doctor. But I was fearful. Mm-hmm. And Hetty would come pray over me and was so diligent. Ladies brought me food. And so I think when I got to experience the Church of Hot Springs, like the body of Christ of Hot Springs, I had moved here, didn't know anybody. And I got to experience, I think, because of the foundation that she laid prayerfully and gathering women from other churches and pastors, she was the catalyst to really gather the pastors in our community.
For sure.
And because of that, I felt like I got to reap the benefit of I never felt a spirit of competition when I moved here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just felt like, oh my gosh, this lady from Trinity is helping me. This lady from Cross Church is helping me. Like,
I love that.
So just that, to me, that was amazing. Because it was the body of Christ, and there was nobody that's like, or even like, oh, I'm going to do this because you're my pastor's wife. Like, they just did it because they love Jesus. And so that was amazing to me.
And you can see too, like, as you're talking, telling the story, it's like you can see how the Lord went before you.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And laid the path out. Like, this is God ordained.
Yeah, because I would have never chosen that. Like, I would have been like, oh, that's a good idea. Let's do 6 kids in 5 years. Yeah. But the fact that he gave me that, I'm like, they are my life's greatest blessing.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
And they have helped me rely on him in such a way that I'm like, oh, I have nothing to offer. Only God. And to be like, to welcome the church coming to help me instead of being like, oh no, I got this.
Oh, yes.
For
sure.
So,
a whole other level.
That's a whole other battle.
Yeah.
To come into your messy life, your messy home.
Yeah. Be like,
with your kids.
All there's kids in diapers and
bathrooms are dirty.
Yes.
Do I have food? I have no clue. Do I have a snack to offer you? Maybe not.
Probably.
Yeah. Applesauce. I don't know what I mean.
Water from the tap.
But that was not. They weren't looking to gain anything from you.
And that the Lord stripped that.
The body.
I mean, pride gone. Yes. What he can do for us in our humility.
Yes.
But you have to get there.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it took for me all those babies to be like, because I think even 4, I think I could have been like, yeah, I got this. Yeah. And I feel like I had a level of pride about, oh, I got this.
Yeah.
And then having all of the babies, literally, I can't hold them all at the same time. Yeah. And so... so it was like, okay, only
no
God.
Other way.
And these women from Hot Springs Women of Prayer that came and rocked babies, like, this one lady, Drew Terry, she goes, I don't do babies, but she goes, I will come and iron Corey's church clothes every week. She did it for 2 years. Ironed his church clothes
for 2
years. Every week would come by and get his church clothes and iron them.
I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that because it's like, that's not my area.
Yeah, she knew her lane.
This woman was like, okay.
Yes. But this is
here's a lady who needs help.
Yes.
I can't help in that way.
Yeah.
But instead of saying, so I can't help, it's what can I do? What part can I play? And I think we miss opportunities like that a lot.
Yeah,
where it's just like,
oh, I can't
we
do
see
that.
a need and I can't meet that exact need. So then we retreat and pull ourselves out of ever even
well,
participating.
And she even had the idea, because I think I was in a place where I couldn't think of how I needed help. Like, people would be like, how can I help? And I'm like, I don't know.
Again, another question.
And she was like, well, do his church clothes need ironing? And so I was like, oh, yeah, that would be super helpful.
Don't have to do. Yeah.
Like,
what can I take?
It really is a testament.
It is. It's amazing.
God's given each of us gifts to serve the body of Christ.
Yes.
Yeah.
And whether that gift is laundry, ironing clothes, rocking the babies.
Yeah.
What chauffeur? What can I do?
Yes, what can I, what part?
Can I bring you a meal once a week? What can we do as the body, and what are our giftings that we can operate in, and not giving ourselves excuses.
Yes, where it's like, oh, that's what she needed, and I didn't fit that bill, so then I'm just going to retreat completely.
Yeah.
That's just, it lets us off the hook. I mean, instead of saying, no, Lord, speak to me, what part can I play?
Yes.
We're not looking for an opportunity to serve. We're looking for an opportunity to retreat based on how we feel or what we think our qualifications are, which that's another thing about Mim that she said 100 times, thousands of times. I heard her say in my lifetime, like, what difference does that make?
Yeah.
How you feel, what difference does that make?
Right.
Do it anyway.
Like,
so
the epitome
that's not your, you know,
so
what difference does that make?
Right.
Like, you serve because you're called to serve. You serve because the Lord, you lay down your life because He laid it. That's how you feel, what you think you're qualified for.
I love it.
None of that mattered to God, and it's like, but we let it matter to us and use it as an excuse.
Well, I even think back to 2020 when nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew what to do. Yes. And Hetty Lou she like called some women together to pray. And she was like, and there were all the racial tensions were big in there in that moment. Obviously, COVID was happening, and just some hard seasons. And she was like, "We are going to pray over this city." And I remember taking my kids to to walk with her around the city, and I'm like, listen, she's in her 90s and she is still like running after Jesus, not jogging, not walking. She's sprinting after him. And so like, I felt like that was a blessing to my children to see someone who is so passionate about God, who had lived so faithfully for decades, and see them in a hard moment. What do? And at that time, she chose to have Hot Springs Women of Prayer at a predominantly all African American church. And it was amazing. It was so good because she was like, what can we do? Well, I don't know what to do. But she was like, we're going here. Like, we're going to make sure that our community knows that we are unified. And we are unified in the body of Christ. And that particular time that nobody knew how to get to this one church. And so I was like, well, our kids, like my kids, the triplets were 5. And I was like, we can stand outside and like wave at people and tell them how to get in. And so obviously it took us all of, 15 minutes to like get people to their seats or like to know how to get into the church. And afterwards, Miss Hetty, she called and she said, I want to take your children to breakfast and tell them how much that meant. Wow. Like, so she circled back and honored them for a super easy task.
Yeah, but serving.
And so she was like, I want to, and we never go out to eat because it's so expensive for us. It's like easy $100. Yes.
No,
do not order anything. You will order off the kids menu. I know you're 16, but
we're splitting meals.
So so she took us to IHOP. Cracker Barrel. We went to Cracker Barrel, had breakfast, and then she gave everybody a $20 bill.
Wow.
And to me, this was so amazing because it wasn't just like, oh, here's 20, like to go go have fun. Yes. Which, I mean, that's what it was for. But she said, I want you to know the value of what you've done for the kingdom, but I also want you to know that your life is worth investing in. And I think like her intentionality in speaking life is something I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to be, I never want to miss an opportunity to be able to speak life over someone. And that's what hooked me for Brookhill, because she was like, bring the girls. She had the 2 big girls. She gave them a scholarship the first year. And so we've been coming about 10 years now. And so they came, and I knew nothing, again, of the whole camp as a whole. I grew up going to another camp in Missouri. And so when we came, and I would drop them off, and they're in, there's big girls in their cabins, and I'm like, what's going to happen? What if I remember thinking, what am I doing? And the amount of tears they shed when they had to leave was unreal. Wow. And I was like, why? Because in my head I thought, well, maybe eventually we'll go to this camp. Because that's where I went. But I was like, why would I go anywhere else if this is in my backyard? And they had such a life-changing experience. Wow. And the counselors that they had, and the activities they got to do, like, they loved all of it. And so I am excited about the activities for the ladies retreat.
Yes, we've been talking a lot about that as we're still developing the weekend, and just getting so excited about what it's going to be. That's the thing, we hear.
You better believe I'm going to be riding a horse.
No, I mean, we hear I think we hear it more than any other thing at check-in and pick up and drop off from the parents saying, when do I get to come? When is my chance to come? I want to be a Brookhill camper. I want to ride a horse. I want to do crafts. I want to play, and so that is definitely one thing that we are so excited about being able to say, come do it. Women, if you've been dropping off your kids for years, and it's like, well, I want to sleep in that cabin, and I want to do this and that, now is your chance. So we are excited about the activities that you'll be able to sign up for.
Yes.
When you register.
Yes. You'll see all the lists, and you can sign up for it. And then Tanner actually is an acclaimed artist.
Yes, acclaimed.
Accomplished. Is that the right word?
Oh, it's not award.
No, but I like acclaimed. I'm going to start using that.
You're known around
the community.
What is something really cool that we're offering is, and you'll see when you register, is we're offering a painting activity, and Tanner is the instructor for that. It's going to be amazing. And so
super fun. And also, what I like about it is, so it's such a cool idea because it's something you can take with you when you leave. I feel like that it's, I don't know, I'm really, probably most women are, but I'm really into tangible, reminders of something, of a moment, whether good or bad, it's if that was a moment of grief, I have this thing to hold on to. You remember it, or if that was a moment of joy, it's when I look at that,
your altar that you're
that
building.
moment, when I look at that, it invokes that memory or that thing. So I do think that even though I'm such a terrible artist, I do think I would be tempted to take that activity, because I would want, I'd be like, oh,
it should be hopefully relaxing.
Okay.
So if you're type A, you might have to take a deep breath and let your hair down.
Okay.
And it's watercolor.
Yes.
And
so imperfection.
Yes.
Okay.
It looks pretty.
I can make that
imperfection is expected.
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
And that's why, and it's unique and it's special. And I think that's one of the really, I'm excited about the retreat, because when do you get to just go paint?
Sit and paint. Yes.
When do you get to just go on a go on a walk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just for leisure. And there's there's no deadline. There's
nobody's pulling at you.
Pulling at you. You have no kids asking you to open their snack. You have a kid doesn't want to walk anymore. You got to hold them the whole time, or your phone's not ringing off the hook, and work's not trying to call you, and you know what I mean. You're just so
it's the true retreat. It's the retreat of it all.
So there's options for you to be able to. I'm going to go play pickleball and have fun. I never get to, I'm going to go.
Well, I'm going to go to the concessions and I'm going to buy nachos that I don't have to share.
Nobody shares.
I'm going to get this ice cream cone, and it's going to be mine. I'm very excited about that.
And I'm buying it for me and not 3 or 4 or 5 other children. Just for me.
Yes.
And I'm going to sit down and just sit. Those are good options.
Yes.
And so that sounds like the best part.
It's the best part. And I love, Tanner, what you were talking about as far as like, it was in your story, it was all of these women who were not necessarily affiliated with the church that y'all were beginning. Yeah. They were from all over. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we love about camp and just about what we do is that we call it family style.
Yes.
Right. We, all ages.
Which came directly from
all
Mim.
Demographics.
Yes.
That was her.
Which when I dropped my girls off, I thought it was a terrible idea. And then turns out I was wrong.
No, we actually, I would say that's in the top maybe 5 questions that we get calls and questions about, like, hi, I'm hearing about your camp for the first time or seeing it online for the first time. I have a couple of questions, like, I would say that's definitely in the top, I mean, maybe 3.
I think y'all do just such a good job.
Why do you do it?
At like pitching the vision to the older kids. Mm-hmm. And I will say Zuzu was, how old do you have to be? Is 8?
It's
8.
Yes.
Okay. So
7 or 8 because it's out of 2nd grade now.
It is 8. Yes.
I think she was 8 when she came. And I remember just being a nervous wreck.
Oh, yeah.
Never left her overnight.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I remember all these older girls. Well, then I start seeing pictures of her throughout the week with this girl named Kennedy, who now we know and love. But she's with this older girl all the time. Like all these pictures, she's like on her back, they're hanging out, they're playing games together. And I come to pick up, I meet Kennedy briefly. Kennedy lives in Whitehall, 2 hours away. And we find her address, we write to her, we invite her to come stay at our house. Oh. And so that was 10 years ago, ish. Mm-hmm. And she, Kennedy is still in our lives. Wow. And Kennedy's in college. And I was like, that was 1 week encounter.
Yes. Yeah.
And it, I feel like she's a part of our family.
Turn into a lifelong friend.
Yeah. I feel like she's a part of our family.
I love that, which, again, it's not shocking, but everything was so biblically based and intentional. We go back to that word that Mim did, where it wasn't just haphazard. It wasn't because I didn't think about it. It was the intention of if you put all ages together, what does that do? And it elevate the older kids then. Well, how do you control older kids at camp? You tell them they're leaders. You tell them you need them. You give them responsibility. Yes. They rise to the occasion of, I'm so glad you're in my cabin. Yeah. I need you.
We haven't had a bad experience with it this year.
It's amazing.
It's been great.
And then what does it do for those younger kids instead of an entire cabin of 4th graders or 5th graders, which is what some camps do. I cannot imagine the internal squabbling and fussing and bickering between 20 4th graders versus you have a couple of 4th graders, you have a couple of 5th graders, but they want to be on their best behavior because they want to impress the 8th graders and the 9th grader. It's so it is that family style of everybody rising to the occasion, being elevated. And Mim would always say, people, but kids especially, will rise to whatever you call out of them, absolutely. And whatever you speak over them. And so the multi-generational thing, if we take that into the retreat, that's it. Yes. It's those women who were there at Hot Springs Women of Prayer who got you through. And with prayer, with practical help and all that. It's come to the retreat, bring a friend, but meet new friends. Yes. Maybe sitting at that picnic table and, the word says that the older women minister to the younger women. And, and it's across that table, what does that woman in her whatever have to share to you? Yes. And you open up, if you're not at your house, you're not at your church, you're not around the people that you feel like you need to be on a certain behavior, around. So you can say, here is what I'm dealing with. Yes. What do they have to speak into your life, and what lifelong friend can you make in that moment, which, again, that's what happens at camp, and that's what can happen at the women's retreat. It's the camp experience of it all is really...
And I feel like as women, it's so easy to isolate, especially in today's day and age, and to be able to come and find an older woman and be like, I am terrified to launch my kids to college or whatever's next for them.
For sure.
How do I do this?
Yes.
And for them to say, like, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
And or for me to talk to a young mom
tricks.
who's like, how do I do this? I never leave my house. And I'm like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
God
what I was going to say,
send
too. Also, looking
provision.
for an opportunity to get to serve.
Yes.
It's like, I do think sometimes we go into, especially conferences, retreats,
and like, what's
seminars,
for me?
what's for me? Like, I'm here to
Yes.
receive. I'm going to sit back. I'm open to what the Lord wants to help me through in this season of my life or whatever, which is wonderful.
For sure.
But then there is also that part of like, Lord,
You need to have
give me
Jesus'
eyes. Like,
Yes.
intentional eyes
Yeah.
of who here needs to hear from you, and am I the mouthpiece for
Yeah.
that? Like,
And
it's
having
so
the
cool.
confidence for that. I think
Yes.
that so often every single age group, every single woman in any season of life has to be reminded that you have something to offer.
Yes.
For sure.
You are gifted.
Yep.
You are, God has equipped you.
Yeah.
Yes.
He empowers you
Yeah.
he is a God throughout all generations.
Yes.
And he loves all generations.
Yes.
And he wants every generation to live in unity, to walk in unity.
Yep.
And when we can have the confidence of knowing that whatever my season, whatever my stage, whatever my age, wherever I'm at, I have something to give. I have something to offer. Because I do feel like you said, we can get isolated.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's personality. Sometimes it's like, Hetty was never going to sit down. Like, Hetty
Right. Just had an
never-
outgoing.
She just was going to seek people out, but then it's like, okay, maybe I'm a little bit more of an introverted.
That's not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to just walk up to someone I don't know,
Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, well, you still have something to offer.
Yes.
And what is it?
What's
and
God
I think
calling
that's
you to
something
do?
that we can, when we come together at the retreat, to be able, we talked a little bit about this last time, be able to reframe our mindset.
Yes.
God, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Who do you want me to meet? Open my eyes to see them like you see them.
Yes.
Who can I love? Even if it's one person.
Yeah.
One person. So it's the family style dynamic of we are in this together.
Yes.
We're walking with the Lord together. We are unified together. We're not in competition.
That's
No.
it. Yeah.
One of the things that I talk about with the counselors is we complement, we don't compete. And
So
not
good.
compliment like, I like your sweater.
Yeah.
I like your hair, but like complementary colors. Like
Yes.
we are different,
Right.
but we
Work
add
together, yes.
to each other's strengths and we help each other in our weaknesses. We are never in competition
Yeah.
with each other.
I love what you said about the competition and I feel like the biggest lie women believe is like, I have nothing to
That's
offer.
it. That's what I was going to say.
And
for sure.
I love what you said, like that you have been placed here for such a time as this. Like this is your moment that God has a purpose and a plan for all of us. And if we don't believe it, like we're not walking in his purpose at all. And so I love like the idea of going in with intentional vision to see people who are hurting wherever, whether that's Walmart, whether that's,
Right.
your workplace, whether
Yes.
that's your home or, and at retreat, I think everywhere. I think that was what was so good about Hetty is she was on at all times.
At all times.
At all
At all
times.
times.
At all
And
times.
would
At Walmart.
I mean, my Lord would tell people all the time of their value.
Yes.
She just saw it. She saw people through the eyes of Christ.
Yes. Yes.
And just saw their value.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if she was looking at a third grade
No.
little boy
No.
or an 80-year-old woman.
Yeah.
It was like there is still purpose.
Yes.
If you are still here on this earth, he still has purpose, you know?
Yes.
And it's like, if you are, whatever season of life you're in, if you're that teenager, there's purpose in whatever it is you're going through, or you have words to speak, you have life to give. If that young mom feels like you're drowning, it's like, there's purpose in that season, and you have stuff to give and you have stuff to receive. And that's for every single
Yes.
Yes. Season.
season,
Every season.
Yeah, she was great. It was very intentional.
This made me, this is Psalm 145, and it says, "Great is the Lord, he is most worthy of praise. No one can measure his greatness." And verse 4 says, "Let each generation tell its children of your mighty acts. Let them proclaim your power." And I feel like she did that so well. And therefore caused me to want to do that. Like, I want to tell the next generation like she did, with that same intentionality wherever I'm walking, of people's value.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you know your value, you're going to make decisions based on the fact that you know your value.
Changes everything.
If
you think you're valuable, it changes everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it changes every decision you make. It changes where you go, what you do, how you speak. Which is why, young people need to hear it. Middle-aged women need to hear it.
Yes.
Moms need to
hear it.
It's like
we
all
need the reminder.
You need the reminder that that you have value. It's great.
It's so good. And boldness is infectious. And she was so bold all the time. And so when you're around her, you're like,
I can do this.
Okay,
here we go.
And it's infectious. And so now boldness looks different to so many different people.
Yeah.
Boldness was the woman who came up to you and said, I don't do kids. But I will iron your husband's clothes for 2 years.
2 years. Yeah.
That's boldness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Boldness is infectious.
Yeah.
And when we know our value, when we can operate in the confidence that God has given us and that He's equipped us, and that we're not being bold on our own, that He gives us the power to do what we feel like we cannot do. He
for sure.
empowers us to do that. It's infectious. It reframes other people's mindset about themselves. And so, but when we're in competition, when we're, when we're,
that's the distraction.
That's the distraction.
Yeah.
I don't have the value I think I do. So I have to be in competition with you to prove to myself. That I can do better than you, that I can look better, that I can operate in this gifting better. But y'all, it's the enemy. It's the scheme of the enemy. And so I love that all these women rallied. I mean, going back to the original story, but just all these women rallied around you.
Yeah.
We're not in competition with each other.
No.
Right.
And you benefited from them understanding their value, their giftings, and that they have something to offer.
Yeah. So true.
And it's
great.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It kept me alive, literally, when I was drowning.
And I love that we're going to be offering that opportunity to come, to receive, to give, to meet, to connect.
Yeah.
That it's the retreat, the recalibrate, the refrain, all the things.
All the things.
Yeah.
Well, I love it. And I'm very excited. And Tanner, we're so excited that you're going to be the painting instructor.
I'm excited to be there.
I think it's going to be just such a special thing to offer. And I hope so many women so many women sign up for it. I think it's really neat. And it will be, like we talked about, a really neat token to take away and to do. But thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
I know I wish we could do this way more. I know.
Me too.
It's been so fun to talk to you. But we're excited for the retreat. Sign-ups are open.
Yay.
And so sign up and come and retreat and do all the things, experience Brookhill in the springtime. Yeah. And thanks for joining us.